In this video, I'm going to show you how you take your shoebox and you turn it into your 2 rooms of your house or whatever else you're building for this project. You should hopefully have a box with a lid. If you have one of those Nike boxes that the lid is attached, it's not a big deal. You're just going to need to cut along the seam right here to create a lid and a box. The other supplies you're going to need for this is you're going to need your pen, pencil, or some sort of marker. If you're worried about your pencil not showing up on your box, talk to me and I'll give you a marker to write with. You're going to need some sort of glue to attach your lid. You're also going to need a cutting instrument, such as a box cutter like this. You are being trusted with a sharp instrument. Please respect that you're using something sharp and do not lose the privilege to do activities like this in our classroom. You're old enough to know how to handle this, and I'm expecting you to act with maturity. Alright, to start. So you have your lid and your box, and if you, again, had the Nike box, you separated them. What you're going to do is you're going to take your box, your lid, and put it inside of your box. You have 2 possible orientations for your project. You can do it up and down like this, putting a wall right here, having one room and one room. This gives you the option to put lights on the sides and in the ceiling. This is the way most people choose to do it. You also can choose to turn your box like this and put a wall in the middle and have like you're looking down on top of your rooms instead of looking from the side. In this case, though, you can't put anything on top. You could have some sort of floor lighting if you wanted, or things on the side, but you're going to have no ceiling to attach lights to. So hopefully at this point you have some sort of design and you're ready to go with a plan before you start cutting up your box. Because you're not, you might be a little angry later when you need to get a new shoebox because it's not looking the way you want it to. Alright, so to start, you're going to take your lid and you're going to slide it into your box. You're going to take your marker and you're going to trace the edge of your lid along the box right here and draw a line to mark to cut later. Make sure that that lid is pushed all the way in, that you don't have this nice awkward gap like this. You're not going to make a good wall with a gap. Push it all the way down and in, and you're going to draw a nice line, just like I'm doing right here, to mark either side what height you need to cut off the lid. Next thing you're going to do is you should have now a mark on one side and a mark on the other. And you are going to connect these marks. I am not using a ruler right now, but you really should grab a ruler from one of the white bins to use it to connect these lines going across. The straighter the line, the straighter the cut's going to be, and the happier you're going to be with your product. Okay, so I have my line going across, and I'm going to take the box cutter. If you've never worked a box cutter before, without a blade, it's going to look like this. What you're going to do is you're going to slide this up until there's just a little bit. Do not take the whole blade out. Okay, you don't need this, you just need a little bit. About this much is perfect. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece down here and I'm going to spread them apart. When it's like this, it's locked in position. It's not going to go anywhere, and you want it to be locked in position before you start cutting. I'm going to take my box cutter and I'm going to cut right along the line I drew with my marker. The sides are going to be the hardest to cut. Be careful as you cut here. Please do not be cutting with your hand on the other side like this. It's going to result in a trip to the nurse. Please do not hold it close to you and stab yourself. Okay? You should be working on a good surface, cutting away from you if possible. The sides are going to be the hardest here. If you want to, at this point, grab scissors and just snip along the sides. That's probably a very good option here, but I'm going to use the box cutter just to show you how. You notice that it's taking me a lot of force to pull down and to cut here, because sides of shoe boxes are actually double enforced with 2 layers. So I got one side done, part way through this side. Notice how I'm cutting down away from me. There. Okay. So now I have two pieces. It's most likely the smaller piece that you cut is the actual wall that you're going to make, not the bigger piece. Place this off to the side. Okay. I have a collection of scrap pieces of cardboard in the classroom. If you'd like to donate this to that collection of scrap, you're welcome to. And if you want to save it for your project later to make maybe a bench out of or something like that, hold on to it and make sure your name's on it. So now I'm going to take my wall, and I should be able to slide it right into my box, and it should fit pretty snugly like that. I need to attach this. So I'm going to take glue, take my wall out again. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the sides. You do not need any more than this. This, as it is going to drip out and create a mess. You need just a little bit of glue, enough to seal it. And I'm going to put glue on all three sides. You have no need to put glue on the top. I'm dripping glue. See? Too much glue. And I'm going to slide my wall right in. Grab tissue or anything other than your hand, or you're going to have very sticky hands, to wipe down the sides if you have extra glue dripping. And you're going to need to press down and kind of squeeze and hold this. Hold this for about a minute. The longer you hold this and push down, the better attached this is going to be later. So hold it for a little while. This is a good point to fast forward through the video as I'm pausing and holding. So after a couple minutes, it should set in, and you have a wall dividing one room from another. Be careful for pretty much the whole class period that you've put this in. It's going to be wet, and it's going to shift around a little bit if you press too hard on it. So this is something that I would do and set aside, not to touch for another class period, to make sure that the glue is dry and you're not going to have your wall fall apart after your hard work putting it together.